Yo, it's your boy Smoke about their Madden video. Today's video we're doing a Carolina Panthers rebuild after they have selected Tetairoa McMillan with the 9th overall selection in the 2025 NFL Draft. The Carolina Panthers have a lot of work to do, and they have a young quarterback in Bryce Young who has been very inconsistent and not great, but towards the end of last year he was starting to perform better, and hopefully they're hoping the star receiver that they have drafted will help them improve. Now, the Carolina Panthers, like I said, they do have a lot of work to do, so we're going to start off the rebuild right off the bat with doing a trade for Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, it's not a big selection, but we're probably going to get rid of Adam Thielen, and we're giving up a second-round pick to get Wan'Dale Robinson. We're going to trade Adam Thielen and a second-round pick to get free safety Geno Stone. He is one of the solid pieces on the Bengals defense, but that is really about it. I would say Geno Stone, Cam Taylor-Britt, and Trey Hendrickson, and Sam Hubbard were the only solid pieces. But anyway, after the first year, we only finished 8-9. Makes sense. Like I said, the Carolina Panthers do have a lot of work to do. If this is your first time watching a rebuild on the channel, we do the auto-generated draft classes after the first year because we cannot predict 2 years down the future. So it'll be auto-generated draft classes, but let's go and check out how the statistics were for our first year in the rebuild. 8-9 was the record, and Bryce Young was able to put up 3,766 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and a 71 completion percentage. He was sacked 33 times, so not horrible offensive line play, but definitely could be better. Passer rating of 100.5, and his longest pass of the year was 80 yards. Yards per attempt was 7.3. Chuba Hubbard, I feel like Chuba Hubbard's actually really going to be good for us. So he has 618 yards, 3.9 yards per carry, 8 rushing touchdowns, and only 1 fumble of the year. Bryce Young with 329 yards with 3 rushing touchdowns, and Rico Dowdle with 6 rushing touchdowns. Now, Tetairoa McMillan, he had 91 receptions with 1,027 yards with 6 receiving touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson was 780 yards off of 79 receptions, 5 receiving touchdowns. Ja'Tavion Sanders, 55 receptions, 518 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. Xavier Legette, someone the Panthers are still hoping will turn into something, but he had 3 receiving touchdowns. And leading attacker is going to be Joey Joswell, and the linebacker. Then we're going to have Tashawn Wharton, the right end, leading tackles for loss. Sacks is going to be Jadeveon Clowney, the old man, still getting it done with 9 sacks. Interceptions is going to be Mike Jackson and then Joey Joswell with 2. This is the only person we signed in free agency. Unfortunately, not many people were interested. I don't know why they want to be interested in coming to the Carolina Panthers because their team is so good. But anyway, yeah, we only got Dante Jackson, and I feel like he was a Carolina Panther before, so I guess he's reuniting. Anyway, this is who we got in the draft. It's auto-generated players, of course. Left outside linebacker, Alex Arrington. 76 overall left outside linebacker. Not too bad of a pickup there. Then we got a cornerback who's a 69 overall. That was kind of a really bad pick, especially in the 3rd round. And then Kevin Burney, that's actually a really good pick in the 4th round, a 76 overall. Then we got a center who's a 63. And then we got a wide receiver, a defensive tackle, and a right guard, Floyd Mayweather, right guard. All right, that's a pretty crazy auto-generated name, but we got a new right guard. Anyway, the second year we went 7-10. We actually do worse somehow. Don't really quite understand how that works, but I mean, like I said, there is a lot of work that needs to be done. Hopefully, in the next year or two, we will make a playoff appearance. I'm going to stick with Bryce Young being our quarterback. This is what he got this season. 3,913 yards, 29 passing touchdowns, 20 interceptions. Really rough year. I'm going to give him another shot. He's going to have about 1 more year. If he doesn't really put up good numbers there, then maybe we might need to move on, but we've seen him perform good in Madden before. So, Chuba Hubbard with 984 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, 0 fumbles. Bryce Young with 90 attempts, 370 yards, and 1 touchdown and 1 fumble. Tetairoa McMillan with 79 receptions, 933 receiving yards, and 6 receiving touchdowns. He's doing pretty solid. Wan'Dale Robinson with 80 receptions, 852 yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. Xavier Legette, pretty good year for him. 68 receptions, 846 yards, and 10 receiving touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard with 59 receptions, 576 yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. And Ja'Tavion Sanders with 536 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Now on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to have Christian Roseroom lead in tackles and Trevon Mooring in second with tackles. Derek Brown is going to lead in tackles for loss, then Tashawn Wharton. Sacks is going to be Derek Brown with 8, Tashawn Warren in second place with 6.5. Alex Arrington The rookie we got had 6.5, so he was tied for second. Interceptions is going to be Trevon Moehrig with 6. That is quite a bit. Then Christian Roseroom with 3. And these are all the people we're going to be losing due to free agency. Wan'Dale Robinson, unfortunately, only a Carolina Panther for about 2 years, but he's not interested in re-signing at all. I've already tried overpaying him, and I'm not going to give an 83 overall a crazy amount of money. So we have $118 million to work with. Again, not a whole lot of people were interested in signing with us, but we were able to get a few quality signings. We got Dax Hill for cornerback help, and then we got Cortland Sutton. He's going to fill in Wan'Dale Robinson's spot, and I feel like he'll probably be even better, to be honest. Jalen Watson, another cornerback, and we need a kicker and a punter as we lost both of them due to free agency. Jake Bates, we got him locked up to a 7-year deal, and Jake Bailey, we got him locked up to a 7-year deal as well. So both of our kickers, or our kicker and our punter, are going to be locked up to long term. This is who I drafted in this year's draft with the 8th overall selection. We got a left tackle, Monty Mason, and he's a 75 overall left tackle. Then we got Taj Hoover. He's a 74 overall running back. And then we got Sanders. We got a cornerback. And then we got a free safety, a left end, a right end, and a tight end. But a lot of these players will probably not get a lot of playing time. And we do have a lot of running backs. So I'm going to go ahead and trade Jonathan Brooks. He has not been progressing at all whatsoever. We still have Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. So we're going to give up Jonathan Brooks, a 3rd and a 4th round pick for Mike Hall Jr. We need defensive tackle for sure. And it was a nice key piece to add. And we're going to need a lot of help, to be honest. So we're also going to trade for Nick Benito from the Denver Broncos, an 86 overall right outside linebacker who is locked up to a 6-year deal, I believe they gave him. Not in real life, but in the game, they gave him a 6-year deal. We're going to go with a 2028 first-round pick, 2028 second-round pick, 2028 third-round pick, and then a 4th-round pick. My controller, disconnected for a second there after I did the trade. Maybe it's a good sign, or maybe it's a bad sign, probably a bad sign. But I feel like that was a good pickup. I mean, you got to think, draft picks, they only get you so far, especially Madden rebuilds. At some point, you just need to trade for players. And we got Jack Campbell as well to help our linebacker room. Jack Campbell, an 86 overall middle linebacker, and we gave only a first-round pick for him. And it might have worked out a little bit because in the 2026 season, we are able to make playoffs. And we have 11-6 record. We're going to be facing the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card round. Let's go and see how everybody did. Bryce Young had a lot of passing yards with 4,244, 27 passing touchdowns with 17 interceptions. That is a lot of interceptions and not a whole lot of passing touchdowns. So it could have been a little bit better, but we'll definitely take it. I mean, we made playoffs and we went 11-6. A 72 completion percentage and a passer rating of 99 on the dot. Yards per attempt was 7.8. He was sacked 33 times. Looks like Trey Lance came in a little bit there. Taj Hoover, the rookie, had 237 attempts, 1,022 yards, 11 rushing touchdowns with 0 fumbles. Bryce Young is going to have 82 attempts for 361 yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. And then Chuba Hubbard's going to have 76 attempts for 306 yards. Tetairoa McMillan, T-Mac, is going to have 88 receptions with 1,052 yards, 8 receiving touchdowns. T-Mac is, again, our best receiver. Cortland Sutton with 85 receptions, 935 yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns. Jadavion Sanders with 825 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. So pretty good year for our receivers. Jack Campbell is going to lead in tackles with 102. J.C. Horn is going to have 85, and Dax Hill will have 70. Tackles for loss is going to be Derek Brown with 11, Mike Hall Jr. with 8, and Nick Benito with 5. Sacks is going to be Alex Arrington, the second-year left outside linebacker that we got. Led in sacks with 9, and then Derek Brown's going to have 8.5. J.C. Horn's going to have 4 interceptions leading the team. Dax Hill's going to have 3. Trevor Moore's going to have 2. Jalen Watson's going to have 2. And then Joey Joswell's going to have 2. And then Jack Campbell had 1. And we didn't make it far in the playoffs. At least we made it to the second round, though. I mean, I'm happy we even made a playoff berth so soon, to be honest. But in the 2026 playoffs, we beat the Dallas Cowboys 24-21. Then we faced the San Francisco 49ers, and we were not able to get it past the San Francisco 49ers as we lose 28-22. Let's go and see what Brock Purdy and the Bang Bang Niner gang did to us. Passer rating of 144. Really good game for Brock Purdy right here. 263 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Can't say the same for Bryce Young as he only had 141 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Taj Hoover did really good, 13 attempts for 93 yards and averaged 7.2 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey with 13 attempts, 63 yards. Jemma Hubbard had 3 rushing touchdowns. So that was pretty crazy right there. Jameson Williams is going to have 7 receptions for 77 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. George Kittle's going to have 7 receptions, 69 yards and receiving touchdown. T-Mac is going to have 53 yards, but no touchdown, obviously. And Cortland Sutton's going to have 40 yards with no touchdown. Leading attacks is going to be Tevin Wallace, then Dax Hill, Martin Emerson. Then tackles for us is going to be Mike Hall Jr. Sacks is going to be Derek Brown, Devon Wyatt. Interception, the lone interception in the game is going to go to Martin Emerson Jr. on the San Francisco 49ers. And we didn't lose anyone too important in free agency, but this is who we're going to be signing in the free agency period. We're going to get Elton Jenkins, a solid center, 87 overall. He's only 31 years old, so he's at least got 3 to 4 more years left in the league. Evan Ingram, he is 32, so again, we got a couple years out of him. So if we're going to make a playoff push, now is the time. And we got DeMario Overshown, a solid left outside linebacker. And we make the playoffs again in the 2027 season, although our record does decrease. We were 11-6 last year, now we're 9-8, but we're going to be facing the Washington Commanders this year. And Bryce Young is going to have 3,918 passing yards, 29 passing touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. Not that bad of a year, but the interceptions are a little high if you're not going to have 30 passing touchdowns. I always like my quarterbacks to have around 30 passing touchdowns. Taj Hoover with 158 attempts on the year, 830 yards, average 5.3 yards per carry. That's really solid. 7 rushing touchdowns and no fumbles. Jemma Hubbard's going to have 373 rushing yards with 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 fumble. Bryce Young is going to have 358 rushing yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. Tetairoa McMillan is going to have 65 receptions with 915 yards and 13 receiving touchdowns. That might have been the best year we've seen from Tetairoa McMillan right there. And then Cortland Sutton's going to have 75 receptions with 824 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. Xavier Leggett is definitely improving into a better receiver with 67 receptions, 748 yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns. Leading attacker is going to be Jake Campbell with 104. Then Trevon Mooring is going to have 91. Dax Hill is going to have 82, and J.C. Horn with 74. Alex Arrington is going to have 64. And then leading in tackles is going to be Derek Brown with 11. Alex Arrington is going to lead in sacks with 7.5. And then Derek Brown's going to have 6. And then interceptions is going to be Trevon Mooring with 4. Jack Campbell with 3. And then we got a couple people with 1 interception. Nick Bonino, J.C. Horn, and Kevin Burney. So we made it all the way to the NFC Championship this time around in the playoffs, even though we only went 9-8. Don't really know how they did that, but we got absolutely embarrassed in the NFC Championship by the Los Angeles Rams. So we beat the Washington Commanders in the first round 31-14, and then we beat the Atlanta Falcons 28-25. But when we faced the Los Angeles Rams, we lost 42-21. So, and it was mainly all in that second quarter, and it looks like Shedeur Sanders got released or became a free agent, and the Los Angeles Rams signed him. Shedeur Sanders did really good against us, though, with 218 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He did have an interception, though. Bryce Young with 261 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and an interception. It looks like he was sacked 7 times in the game. I don't know how that happened, because our offensive line's not even that bad, to be honest. In the rushing side of the game, Puka Nacua, of all people, is going to lead with averaging 36.5 yards, as he had 72 rushing yards. All right, Tetairoa McMillan with 121 receiving yards off of 7 receptions. Mike Evans, 5 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Mike Evans is a Ram, apparently. Evan Ingram, 4 receptions and 45 yards. Cortland Sutton got us a touchdown. Omar Spites is going to lead in tackles with 8, and then Nick Bonino is going to have 8 as well. Tackles for loss is Alex Arrington, then Nick Bonino. Sacks is going to be Mikael Williams. Looks like he became a free agent as well. And then interceptions is going to be Cameron Kitchens and Geno Stone. Both got interceptions in the big game, but it definitely was not enough as we got blown out by the Los Angeles Rams. This is who we're going to be signing. We're making some big free agency signings for once, and I think it will pay off. Will Anderson Jr., a 92 left end. He's only 26 years old as well. Ladd McConkey, he's only 26 years old as well, and he's a 91 receiver. T-Mac has been solid for us, but he has really been the only option. And we got Cooper DeJean, a 90 overall, 25 cornerback. So in the 2028 season, the Carolina Panthers go 16-1. I've never been with a team that has been that good. I've never been with a team that's won 16-1. I think in a rebuild team, the best I've ever been is 14-3 or 15-2, but never 16-1. So, wow, they are dominating the league, and 91 overall, 91 offense, and 92 defense. Looks like Taj Hoover has upgraded all the way up to a 99 overall. He led the league in rushing yards, apparently, and the Carolina Panthers are now an amazing team, apparently. Don't know how that happened. Taj Hoover was always really good, though, but I didn't think he would progress all the way up to a 99. Bryce Young with 4,346 passing yards, 44 passing touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. That's an amazing, amazing year. Taj Hoover with 245 attempts, 1,320 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, and 18 rushing touchdowns with only 1 fumble. Tetairoa McMillan with 1,194 yards and 10 receiving touchdowns. And Ladd McConkey with 84 receptions and 907 yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. And our third best receiver was Taj Hoover with 713 yards. The running back with 713 receiving yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. Then Xavier Leggett is going to have 9 receiving touchdowns as well. Leading in tackles is going to be Jake Campbell again, and I definitely do not regret trading for him. Alex Arrington is going to be a stud for us as he's second in tackles. He's definitely put up enough good years to say he's a stud. Tackles for loss is going to be Will Anderson, though, the guy we just signed. Alex Arrington leading in sacks with 15.5. Oh, my goodness. Mike Hall Jr. with 9.5. Jack Campbell with 5 interceptions. J.C. Horn with 5 interceptions. Geno Stone with 4. Nick Bonino with 2. Kevin Burney with 2, Alex Arrington with 1, Cooper DeJean with 1, and Dax Hill had 1. Seems like everyone on the Carolina Panthers just decided to click on the right time in the right place, as we were the 2nd seed. So that's even the crazy part. We were 16-1, the 2nd seed, so that means the Vikings had to have went undefeated or put up more points per game than us, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because we were a 2nd-round exit. Even though we were 16-1, the Atlanta Falcons, the division rivals, send us home with Michael Penix at the helm. Michael Penix with 338 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception. He was sacked 5 times in the game, with Bryce Young having an 87.9 passer rating, 204 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, no interception, and he was not sacked at all. Bijan Robinson with 15 attempts, 78 yards, and 0 rushing touchdowns. Taj Hoover with 15 attempts, 68 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Bryce Young was 5 attempts, 15 yards. Isaiah Bond looks like he's an Atlanta Falcon with 8 receptions, 815 yards, and a touchdown. Jackson Archer, don't quite know who that is, probably auto-generated with 2 receiving touchdowns. Roman Clexton was leading in tackles, looks like another auto-generated guy. And then tackles for loss is going to be Mike Hall Jr. and Will Anderson. Derek Brown's going to have 2 sacks. Will Anderson's going to have a sack. Nick Bonito's going to have a sack. And Alex Arrington has the one and only interception in the game. Now, next year in the 2031, well, actually, this is not next year. We jumped a few years up just because to save time for the video. But in the 2031 season, we are 90 overall, 93 offense, and 90 defense. Obviously, if there were some big changes, I would have shown you guys, but there was not. We still have around the same roster. So in the 2031 season, Bryce Young with 4,335 passing yards, 46 passing touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. I thank God I held on to Bryce Young and just let him progress. Did he need a little bit longer to show he was a stud? Yeah, but it's definitely working out. 76 completion percentage in the year. Oh my God, that is filthy. I think that's got to be a single season record. Taj Hoover with 1,031 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns and 1 fumble. Troy Sinclair, he is an auto-generated guy we drafted not too long ago, or maybe we signed not too long ago. But anyway, 81 attempts, 288 yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns. Bryce Young with 2 rushing touchdowns and 228 yards. And then we're going to have Ladd McConkey with 1,255 yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. T-Mac with 73 receptions, 919 yards, and 9 receiving touchdowns. And then Sean Connor, our new tight end, is going to have 556 yards with 7 receiving touchdowns. Taj Hoover with 536 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. Xavier Leggett is going to lead the team in touchdowns with 12, with 51 receptions and 532 yards. Defense is going to be Jake Campbell again with 107 tackles, leading with the tackles again. Alex Arrington is going to have 84 and be in second, and then Cooper DeJean, J.C. Horn, Will Anderson Jr. is going to lead in tackles for loss with 12. Alex Arrington is going to have 11 in second place. Will Anderson Jr. with 17 sacks in a year, and Alex Arrington with 14. We are definitely getting pressure to that quarterback. Cooper DeJean is going to have 4 interceptions in the year. And we are going to be going to the 2031 Super Bowl. We're going to be facing the New York Jets. We were both the 1 seed in the NFC and the AFC. And we're going to be facing the New York Jets. Carolina Panthers versus New York Jets is the 2031 Super Bowl matchup. Let's go and look at the top players. Taj Hoover is our top player, then Alex Arrington. And then they got Breece Hall, Joe Burrow, and Sauce Gardner. Joe Burrow is a New York Jet. All right. The crazy thing is, Joe Burrow is probably not even all that old. Like, yeah, he's probably middle-aged, but I think he's still, at this timeline, he's probably only 31 or 32, so he's got a few years left in the tank. The Carolina Panthers are ready for kickoff against the New York Jets. I go into the game just for the presentation purposes. Obviously, I'm not going to be playing. It's a rebuild and not a gameplay series. So let's super sim it. We are up 14-7 against the New York Jets. Now it's tied 14-14. Now it's 21-14. It's a tied game. It might be going to overtime. I don't think it did. I think they kicked a last-second field goal right before overtime. The New York Jets are going to be your 2031 Super Bowl champions. The Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young were not able to get it done. There's Joe Burrow. He's wearing number 18, jumping up and down. He's got the slim, shady haircut and everything. But, yeah, we weren't able to get it done. We came very, very close, but not quite done. Our team is still young. We might still do a couple more years, but let's go ahead and look at the stats for the time being. 187 passing yards for Bryce Young, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Joe Burrow with 142 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 0 interceptions. Breece Hall with 73 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Taj Hoover with 32 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. Joe Burrow got a rushing touchdown as well. Yeah, experience. He's only been in the league for 11 years. So, Sean Connor with 53 receiving yards, and Ladd McConkey got a receiving touchdown. Tetairoa McMillan got a receiving touchdown, and Breece Hall got a receiving touchdown as well. Jake Campbell is going to lead in tackles again with 9. Jake Campbell is going to lead in tackles for loss with 2. There was no interceptions. And I just simmed a couple more years. I didn't want to make the video super, super long for you guys. I simmed 3 years down the future, and we're going to check the Super Bowl champions. I don't even know for sure if the Carolina Panthers won, but let's go ahead and check. Because we had a young team and a lot of players. So we won in the 2033 season. All right, we were able to get it done. I've never quite done a video like this. I've always went inside the Super Bowl and simmed. But since I know our team was so young and it had a lot of good players, I just wanted to sim a couple more years. And yes, so we were able to get the rebuild done. So it looks like we beat the Denver Broncos to 31-16 victory. First-time Super Bowl champions, the Carolina Panthers. The Super Bowl MVP was Bryce Young. In the 2032 season, it was the New York Jets versus the New York Giants. New York Jets winning, with Joe Burrow being the Super Bowl MVP. And then the 2031 season, obviously, that is the one we just went into. That was the one the Jets won. 2030 season, the Minnesota Vikings won 35-23. And then the 2033, there it is. That is where the Carolina Panthers won the Super Bowl. The NFL MVP that year was Drake May. Offensive Player of the Year was Jordan Addison. Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons. Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year don't matter because it's auto-generated. But yes, we were able to get the rebuild done. Like I said, I never quite done a video where we simmed this far in the future, but it was fun, and we were able to get the rebuild done. Let me know if you guys enjoy these kind of videos. I will make more content for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And turn those post notifications on so you get notified every single time we post. Bye.